Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. We have a show full of the hottest topics everyone's talking about. Of course, we got to talk about the Grammys. That's what everyone is talking about. But we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, our official website, thestephennightshow.com, where you can buy our merch. If you'd rather watch, just go to our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show, where you can comment and subscribe. Please make sure that you register to vote. We have a very important election this year. And I do not want to see that man back up in that White House. But make sure you vote. Vote for who you feel you need to vote for, but definitely vote. Quick announcement. So the Stephen Knight Show will appear February 7th on the new podcast release newsletter. It's a collaboration with Black Pod News and the Black Podcasting Awards. So Wednesday at 2:30 p.m., it'll be on blackblkpodnews.com. And they have over 1,900 subscribers, and then they'll be out in their paid version. That's a free version on Wednesday, but their paid version is Sunday at 5 p.m. You can go to blackpodawards.substack.com. So shout out to them for recognizing us. As you know, it's Black History Month. So today we are recognizing in our Black History Spotlight, Martin Diago. He is the only player inducted in the Baseball Hall of Fame in the United States, Mexico, and Cuba. The two-way star played year-round across the Americas, seeing time at all 9 positions, but excelling as a pitcher. And so, if you go on our social media, we highlight a black person in history, Black history, during the week. So check it out for more information. And as you know, we are on our mission to find our new female co-host. Linnea has been holding it down, but I think she needs some more estrogen with her to bounce off me and Chike and Nair when he's here. So, we'll be having people guest co-hosts during that time until we find who we think's the right fit. We're not really in a rush, but just in a right fit. But Brittany, she came last week and killed it, and so we've asked her to come back again tonight. So Brittany, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, I got some good feedback on you, so you might know a little something.
I am surprised. I am surprised.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Well, family, how y'all doing? She gave you back, Linnea. How y'all doing?
Tired.
Me too. Me too. You know, dry January. I did dry January, and so this is my first weekend indulging, and definitely there's a difference. There's a difference. But I was productive. I was productive. Well, our question of the day is it okay for your significant other to accept a drink from a stranger at a social setting? So if like your partner is out at a bar and someone buys them a drink, is it okay for them to accept it? I'll start with you, Linnea.
Jay and I just had this conversation last month, and I don't know. I don't know. Like, he would like if he told me that he would be uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
If I'm by myself, then I would decline. But the flip side of that is when I go out with my friends, and Chike can attest to this, when we go out, people buy us drinks.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it's not like no one's trying to talk to me. In that aspect, it's like we buy drinks. Like if somebody buys us a drink, then we buy one back.
Right.
So, I think if I'm by myself, then no. I would say no. But in like a social setting, when I'm with my peoples, I'm going to say that happens without, because he's worried about, somebody snatching me up. So
right, yeah. What about you, Chike? What do you think?
It's so funny because I just heard this story about my mother and my father when they were dating. My dad was a piece of work. So from legend, I heard that my mom's a beautiful woman, and I'm not just saying it because it's my mom. Like, my mom was stunning. Like, so men would buy her drinks, but when my parents were dating, men would send drinks to my mom, but my dad would be in the house too, and he would come over and drink them. So it was okay with him
Right.
because he was getting his drinks through my mom. And that was like a flick off to the men that bought the drinks, because how dare you buy her drinks, but you see me, I'm drinking this. Keep sending them. And then he'd go away.
Right.
So my thing is, I leave it to the discretion of your partner. You know, you should be able to trust your partner to make the right decision and have proper discernment. Trust.
Trust, yeah. Brittany?
I don't care. I mean, maybe because it's just a drink to me. Like, I really don't care. As long as it don't go no further. Now, if she walking over, handing you the drink, putting the drink in your mouth, now we got a problem. But if it's just a drink, I really don't care. I mean, I expect you to get the drink. Let me have some. Like, I have been out where dudes have bought me and a dude I'm with a drink. And it's a drink
Yeah.
and free food. I take anything free. So if you want to do it, if you want to spend your money, I'm gonna let you spend your money. But yeah, no numbers need to be passed. You don't have to introduce yourself. Just spend your money and keep it moving. Like,
Yeah. I know when I was young and broke, I'd go out with Miss Parker and her friends, and I'd be in my own little thing with my friends. And guys would buy her drinks and she would give them to me. They didn't know though. You know, we've had this discussion on the show before. I went out to eat Thursday. It was a friend of mine. She was in town for her birthday. And so a bunch of us went out to eat. And her husband, that was my first time meeting him. He came in town Tuesday. And so we went out Thursday and he paid for the whole table. And, you know, I was thinking, I felt like, oh, you should let me contribute. You know, I felt, but it was actually cool. You know what I mean? It was cool that he paid for the whole table. But yeah, the drink thing, I don't see a big. I think again, it's how you do it. Because I bought drinks for girls, and I wasn't really interested. I just saw them there, you know, and did or whatever. And I've had drinks bought for me from girls. So I think it just depends. It just depends on the intention. But let us know on Twitter. Is it okay for your significant other to accept a drink from a stranger at a social setting? Stephen Knight Show, SHO. So here's some of the comments we got on Facebook. Someone said, I don't see a problem. A kind gesture is nice. My significant other should let the stranger know we're together, so there is no misunderstanding about the gesture. One girl, Jennifer, she said, sure. Clarence said, heck yeah, frugality saves relationships. Karen Barker said, I usually don't just get me one. I get him one too. If someone offered him a drink, I'd like the same consideration. Brandy said, just happened the other night, and the gentleman bought both of us one. So I guess her and her husband. She's married. Shayla said, people buy drinks all the time. I don't know why, but thanks. Karen said, I have no say. I have to say yes, because if they're like me, I won't know anyway. Katie said, no problem. And Ebony said, I don't see a problem. So I guess most people don't have a problem with it. But let us know. All right, so last night was the Grammy Awards, and I got a lot of great reviews. Some nostalgic appearances like Joni Mitchell. She won her 10th Grammy last night, and that was her first time performing at the Grammys ever at the age of 80. And, you know, she had a brain aneurysm, so she had to learn how to sing again and all that. But she performed. Billy Joel, he performed for the first time in a very long time. Dua Lipa, excuse me, she opened the show with a medley. Miley Cyrus, she did a charming performance of her song Flowers. Let's see, Taylor Swift made Grammy history. And Jay-Z had a fiery speech. But a seemingly shocked Taylor Swift broke Grammy history last night, taking home her 4th Album of the Year award for Midnight, stepping out from the trio she left behind. So Frank Sinatra, Stevie Wonder, and Paul Simon all have 3 Album of the Years, and she was in that group, and now she has 4. Now, here's the thing. So Celine Dion, you know, she's had some health issues. She's dealing with dealing with battling stiff person syndrome. And her sister had been kind of really giving updates on her, saying that she can't really control her body. And so she surprised everyone by making a guest performance. And she introduced the award for Album of the Year. and people were saying that Taylor Swift kind of snubbed her because she came on stage. Of course, she was excited. She hugged everybody and didn't even look at Celine, but kind of just took the award and just gave her speech. But backstage, she did take a picture with Celine. But a lot of people are saying that she kind of snubbed her. The fact that she came out there to give the award. But Celine said that when she said, "I'm happy to be here," I really mean it. And she got a standing ovation. Tracy Chapman, she has not performed in a minute anywhere. I think they said in the last 15 years, maybe she's done a few performances. But her song, Fast Car, it came out in 1988. And Justin Combs, he's a country artist, he recorded it last year. And it was a country music award. It was nominated. And so she came and she performed with them and she did an amazing job. Oprah was in the audience. She came out and did introduce Fantasia Barrino. They did a tribute to Tina Turner, which she killed it. And then they had a great section that, and I always get to say this word wrong. What's it when they pass away? In
Memoriam.
In memoriam.
Yes. What's his name? John Batiste and Ann Nesby killed it. Now, Annie Lennox, she performed a song paying homage to Sinead O'Connor. At the performance, she said, "Artists for a ceasefire, peace to the world." She held her fist up, talking for a ceasefire in Gaza. But other than that, it was a good show. I mean, I had turned it on and then I got tired and so I went to bed, but I did watch a lot of the clips today. Some of the feedback I heard was, although it was a great night for Black women in general, a lot of the awards where Black people won weren't televised. Like Killer Mike, he swept for the rap categories. He won 3, but it wasn't televised. Kirk Franklin performed, it wasn't televised. Coco Jones, she won her award, and so did I can't think of her name, Mama, song. Anyway, she won, but it was a great overall. But what do you think? Did you watch? I'll start with you, Chicken. Did you watch? What were your thoughts on the Grammy?
So I watched it in pieces. I thought that it was okay. It wasn't super, it wasn't like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Grammys that I'm looking for, how it used to be.
Yeah.
And if you notice, if you've been paying attention, they're bringing the legends out to get the star power to get people to watch.
Yeah.
Like and not in a bad way, but they use Miss Joni Mitchell and they use Tracy Chapman.
Yeah.
These are legends. These are people that have already made their iconic mark in the industry. I just don't think, and this is just my opinion, there's a component, and Stephen, maybe you can attest to this, there's a component missing in entertainment where they don't groom the artists anymore. Mm-hmm. There used to be a point where artists were groomed before they were released, so therefore their performances for whatever it is that they were doing were pristine because they were drilled and drilled and grilled and drilled and grilled and drilled before they actually came out. Mm-hmm. So they were basically gearing them to be legends before they actually hit the stage. Now, if you have a pretty face and you got followers and people are willing to put money behind you, you can be a star rock. Yeah. So you see the difference. So, and I think that inside industry people know, okay, if we want to bang, we need to get somebody here that the people already love and people already, are invested in. Like your Joni Mitchell. Your first time, Joni Mitchell is a legend. First time at the Grammys at 80? Come on.
Nope.
That's a sin. Mm-hmm. That's a sin. But anyway, it was okay. I want this whole Beyonce camp and Taylor Swift. I know Kanye was the first to dig in. Y'all need to stop. Just stop. I get it, but stop begging these people for your acceptance. Beyonce, you're a star. You're a legend already. Yeah. You've been doing what you've been doing for quite some time. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You're getting your change. You don't need their acknowledgement. You're already doing what you're doing. It kind of looks crazy that every time that award comes up and we're begging and we're pleading for them, please like us, please like us. Stop. Look to your own, be satisfied with what you have, or maybe work harder, because it looks crazy for us to constantly have the stage and constantly crying about this person has more awards than me. When did this ever come to be? We never used to do this. What they did back in the day, they stopped going to the Grammys. You didn't hear them crying and complaining. They boycotted.
Mm-hmm.
So it was okay. And can I just say, I watched the red carpet too. I was a little disappointed in the red carpet. It was a little sad this year.
Well, you know, they said it was raining profusely out there, on the red, you know, outside.
What? I'm not talking about the weather, and I'm not talking about the red carpet setup. I'm talking about how people were dressed.
Yeah.
Do better.
Right. Victoria Monet is the one that won. She won her first Grammy. Let's talk about that, Linnea. So Jay-Z, he won the Impact Award. And you know, during his speech, he said that you know, he didn't mention any names, but he talked about Beyonce, saying how she has the most Grammys out of anyone. She has 32, and she has yet to win Album of the Year. And he said some people will leave today feeling like they snub. Some people probably don't belong in the category. And then he said he apologized. He speaks his mind when he's nervous. I heard an argument today while I was preparing for the show. Someone said, why are they worried about that? She has 32 Grammys, more than anybody, and they're all for different things. Well, not all, but a lot of them are different things. But one person said if she deserves Album of the Year, it doesn't matter how many Grammys she has, she deserves what's just. And the last Black woman to win Album of the Year was Lauryn Hill, Miseducation Lauryn Hill. And then the last Black men was Outkast. So it's been years, decades. So I see both points of the argument. You know, Renaissance, I don't even think it was nominated. You know, and we saw how big that record took off, the tour and everything. And someone said today, Sunny Hostin said on The View, she said that America sometimes props up who they want to be the princess, talking about Taylor Swift. She didn't say her name, but that's what we're talking about here. So what's your thoughts on, and someone said, they talked about the boycott Chike as well, but someone said, why would I boycott when I'm getting a prestigious award? That's when I should protest by speaking out, and why everyone's looking at me. What are your thoughts, Linnea?
I didn't watch it.
Right.
I don't have an interest.
Yeah.
I did see the clip of Jay-Z. I mean, he's speaking on behalf of his wife, period. For someone to have, whether it's 32 or 33 Grammy Awards, but never, ever has she won Album of the Year. The year that Adele won, Adele said Beyonce should have won.
Yeah.
We all know that there's politics to it. If you look at an old clip from India Arie, she talks about it on the Grammy carpet. And you know, like a lot of what we might consider our faves have never even been considered, you know, for a Grammy. So I don't know who won. I don't know who lost. I know I'm tired of Taylor Swift. I don't listen to her music, but I'm not going to say what that is. I'm going to leave it right there. And it is what it is. Like, you know, you can use that platform to say whatever it is you want to say. But I think the strongest thing that you can do is not even participate. That's how your voice will be heard. Like, don't even, and this is to Chike's point, because we've been brought up in this system of that's what we have to, you know, subscribe to, and that's what we want to achieve, those things, those platforms, because they're important, and then they're supposed to solidify us. No, you've been solidified time and time again because you've been doing this for so long, and you have a following, you have a fan base, you have people who love you, who buy your music, who can't wait until you have something that's getting ready to come out. Like that's the validation there. But because we've been brought up in this system, in this structure, that this is what we have to attain to because this makes us X, Y, and Z, nobody's going to stop going. like no matter what, you know what I mean? Like that's always going to be the thing to us to
Yeah.
try to strive for.
Like the Oscars. So. Yeah. Yeah. Brittany, what are your thoughts on this?
I love the fact that Jay-Z stood up for his wife. I'm always gonna ride. I am a Beyonce fan, so I cannot like deny that part of me. I think that's just because we're from the same place. But I also love her music. And I think that a lot of her albums, the people that beat her, like one year it was Beck. Like of all people, like, and then it was just
and the song
like
and the album's called Loser.
Yeah, it was just like really bad upsets. Like it wasn't even stuff where you would be like, okay, I could kind of see how they might have beat her out. So I think that that's kind of like a sting a little bit, is like it wasn't even competition for Lemonade or the Single Ladies album and things that will always be classics. I think that I do kind of, to Chike's point, I was kind of disappointed with the outfits. I did not watch it. I don't think that the award show are like they used to be. I remember we used to stay up all night just jamming the award show. I think that the BET Awards have gone down. I think that the Grammys have gone down. The Sorts Awards are just the ghetto. Like, I think that all award shows have gotten away from giving good performances.
The pageantry.
Absolutely. And to Chike's point, like they got Sexy Red performing with no shoes on. Like it just be real ratchet. And so it's just not even good anymore. So I definitely don't waste my time staying up watching for 2 to 3 hours. I definitely think it's very political. That's why they said something about the Oscars. You don't win until you play a slave movie or something like that. Like I've heard critiques with that. And I think that it does do us a disservice. But then when we do get platforms, it gets very hood real quick. And so I feel like there is nothing for us that holds some sort of regalness for us. And then I even think I remember Beyonce and Jay-Z, they were boycotting awards at one time. They weren't doing press. That's why they don't show up nowhere. And if they show up, they leave early. Like, it's just, it's really hard to get us a platform that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Can I bring up one more point, Stephen? Can I bring up one more point?
Yeah.
People also have to remember and think about Jay-Z and Beyonce together formed Tidal. And what Tidal did was their own streaming platform where they removed their stuff from all the other streaming platforms and they became their own entity. Do you think that the industry is not going to look at that and be like, what? How dare you? I mean, come on. They've become somewhat sort of self-contained. So for you to be self-contained but still want acceptance from the outside world, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. To me.
Yeah.
Chike, I subscribed to Tidal just for Beyonce's album because you couldn't find it anywhere.
but that's my whole point. If the industry is looking at you and you have to be a part in order for you to be accepted, and you separate yourself because you want to be separate from the rest, I'm not looking at them in a negative way for creating their own platform. Kudos to you. That's the move. Ownership is the move. However, you can't do that and still want the outside world to accept you when you removed yourself from their platforms. That's how you're calculated to be a part of. If you remove yourself from it, you're not going to get the numbers in their world to be accepted in their world. You're going to get the numbers for your world, but not theirs.
Yeah. Well, the Grigio Awards, those are very classy. They're new. They celebrate Black art. And they're really, really good, really nice. All right, so there's the actress Ayo Edebiri. She was on a podcast back in 2020, and on the podcast she was talking about JLO. She was saying her career is fraudulent, she can't sing, and the fact that she thinks she can sing is a problem, and saying that she doesn't even sing her own tracks, and she was going on and on about it. Well, it leaked, I think, on Friday, and guess what? Sunday, her and JLO were appearing on SNL together. JLO was the talent, the musical act. So during the show, they didn't stray away from it. they played a show, Why Did You Say It? It's like kind of like a Jeopardy skit where Kenan Thompson is the host, and they made reference to not talking about people for clout or and being mindful what you say about people on podcasts and social media. And she mentioned that she was 24 and dumb at the time. But JLO wasn't part of the skit, and that was just their way of addressing it. But a lot of people thought it was a good way of addressing it. Um, I'll start with you, Lydia, because your face expression. What do you think about having to kind of eat crow when you come in contact with this person years later in person?
This would not have been a story if that young woman had not just won an Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking away from the fact that she just won an Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh off of it. The Emmys just happened.
Yeah.
And you go back to a conversation that was had a long time ago, and what she said is true. It's true. I mean, JLo can't sing. But, she's a part of that group where, as Chike said, she's a star. She's been put on whatever pedestal, and she's been made into a star and thrusted upon the American people. When before she was just Jenny from the block. So if that young woman had not won that Emmy, this would not even be a conversation.
That's true. Yeah.
And I don't even know the context of that conversation when she did that podcast, because she ain't but that much older than what she was when she said it.
Right.
So, and I think she was asked a question, but
the podcaster was egging her on, agreeing with her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's if she would not have won this Emmy and thrust it into the spotlight, this would not even be a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Brittany, what are your thoughts? Have you ever said anything about someone like me that you had to work with?
I have definitely said things that I had to kind of like eat a little humble pie.
Right.
But I mean, I'm a JLo fan of her movies.
Yeah.
Now, I thought we were all under the same impression that Diddy kind of made her music, because I haven't really listened to her since she broke up with him. But I do like her movie. On Netflix, she got the Mother movie. I saw that. And then I saw that prostitute movie she did. And I mean, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
But as far as her singing and stuff, like, we all know Diddy was behind that force in the beginning. But like, Love Don't Cost a Thing, Ja Rule, like all of that. So I haven't really listened to much of her music since those hits back in the day. But I mean, I do think that when you are in a certain limelight, you definitely have to be careful of things you say. I know, like, navigating HR, we have to be politically correct. Like, you kind of do have to be mindful of the spaces that you're in and the people you may or may not come across, because some doors are revolving. So
true. That's true. Chike, what are your thoughts on all this?
So first of all, I'm gonna give why I love JLo. I love her for her dancing. That's why I fell in love with her. JLo happened to be one of those people that had a package. You look good, you can dance, I can sell you. I love her acting, I love her dancing. Musically, my musical tastes tend to be a little bit more complicated than what JLo offers. However, she has a market. Kudos to her for having a market. I'm not going to disparage her career, because she did whatever she did to get to wherever she is, and she's there. You can't take her away now. She's already there. However, and Linnea can attest to this, we've had opinions about certain people. We've discussed certain people. At a certain point in my career, I didn't know that I was going to be sharing a room with certain people. We tend to run into some of the people that we talk about.
Yeah.
We do hot topics. Sometimes I run into some of those people that we do hot topics about.
Oh, I
You
have him
can
on the
either
show.
stand
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
yeah, you can either stand 10 toes down on what you said and own it. And that's my principle in life for me. I'm not going to say anything behind your back that I wouldn't say to your face. I
Right.
may have an explanation for why I said what I said, but to quote the great Nene Leakes, I said what I said.
Right. Yeah. Two things. So there is a song called "What Is Love" by JLO. I don't know. She worked with Ronnie Jerkins that song. She sang on that song though. I don't think she's a great singer, but on that song, she sang. I don't know if he pushed her. Check that song out. But also there's a clip that went, I think it was a couple years ago. She's singing with her daughter. You know, her children's dad is Mark Anthony, who can sing. And they said that it said when your daughter sounds better than you. She's a little girl. But
it's subjective. Like this, what we're talking about now is these are our opinions.
right.
Don't like we're not saying, oh well, this is a fact. These are our opinions, and people are going back on their opinions when something is brought to light, or they said something and now they're backtracking. That's the part that I have an issue with.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that's indicative of the industry itself.
Don't backtrack.
People will do what they can to be in certain rooms and to be accepted. I don't necessarily need for you to accept me when I'm telling my own truth. I need to accept me, and I have to stand on my 10 toes and look myself in the mirror. I said what I said.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, she's heard it before because she said that she used to get paranoid about her voice, that people saying she couldn't sing. But anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Wendy Williams' trailer for her documentary comes out. It has a lot of fans concerned. And Candy Burris makes a big announcement about Real Housewives in Atlanta. And we're going to talk about Fannie Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney. We talked a little bit about that last week. Right back after this. Keep it locked.